once it loads.
Well, we are streaming live, Sheila.
All right, here we go, Saurel.
Let's do this.
Thank you, Jalen, for this jingle. Jalen Patton, ladies and gentlemen. All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Sheila Speaks. What?
Great to be with you, Sheila.
Oh, it's so great to have you here. Welcome, Saurel. Saurel Quettan is America's top leadership coach and the founder and CEO of exeQfit Incorporation, a leadership consulting firm that exists solely for people to transform leaders from managers into propellers of growth and development. As a leadership coach, Saurel doesn't teach leadership. Instead, he helps focus on the distinction between achievement and success, assisting as they define and embrace a calling greater than themselves. Hello, Saurel. How are you?
Sheila, I am doing awesome. I am great. I am the way I say I am, and just so delighted to be with you and so grateful for the difference that Sheila Speaks is making in the world.
Great. Thank you so much. And you have also a show that comes on every morning at 9 a.m., The Daily Huddle. So again, welcome. And today, Saurel and I are going to have a conversation with you. The 7 steps for living a fulfilling life and running a thriving business, not just any kind of business, a thriving business. So talk to us about that this morning, Saurel.
You know, the title of the conversation, 7 steps for living a fulfilling life and running a thriving business, is enticing, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Everybody wants that.
Yes. Wait, I want that.
Yeah, I want that too. So what I wanted to do in creating that conversation, Sheila, is to create for myself and for others, for you, for the listeners, the opportunity to actually gain access to creating a thriving life, living a thriving life, and creating a thriving business and running it whenever you want, wherever you want. And what I discovered for myself as a reliable access to doing that is this thing called being coachable.
Yes.
And when I looked at that, I said to myself, you know, I've always thought about being coachable as something that is the relationship between me and a coach, like a relationship between me and Sheila James, my coach.
That's right.
And while that's there, the relationship between me and my coach isn't possible until I create a powerful relationship with myself.
Very good.
Like really being coachable starts right here where I am.
Yeah, let me just say one thing about that as you continue. And being coachable, I mean, when you look at anybody who's great in the world or not great, they have a coach. But the key thing about having a coach doesn't fix or change you. They listen for what's missing so that you can be and remove all the barriers so that you can be who you intend to be. So go ahead, Saurel.
And who you intend to be. There's this thing about goal setting in the world, right? I want a fulfilling life, so I'm going to set goals. I want to run a thriving business, so I'm going to set goals. And yet, none of it is really possible until I create that relationship with myself where I discover for me that
Mm-hmm.
what's stopping me isn't my being uncoachable to someone else. What's stopping me is that I have a way, I have a position. Like when I'm not being coachable in the areas of my life that are most important to me,
Yes.
I have a position, like an opinion, a point of view. And that point of view could be about me,
Mm-hmm.
about my business, about the people I'm working with. And
Mm-hmm.
I use that position like a point of reference. It's a point of reference for me and for others, and the accountabilities I have and the accountabilities they have.
Yes.
Like literally, instead of the account, your accountability or my accountability being my accountability, it ends up being a function of my opinion. And the nature of that opinion for me, Sheila,
Mm-hmm.
is that I'm not relating to it as if it's my opinion.
Mm.
I'm not relating to that position as if it's my position. My relationship to it is that it's the truth.
Yep. I got it.
And when it's that way, I really have no choice. It's
Mm-hmm.
as if I'm possessed by the truth.
And it's the truth and it's real and you're stuck with it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
as if I'm possessed. So the way I think,
Mm-hmm.
the way I strategize, and the way I plan from these strategies, the actions I take are all derivatives of that truth. So,
Wow.
in that sense, I can say for myself, in answer to the question, am I coachable? I'm not.
Mm.
I really can't listen to you. I can't listen to books. I can't listen to anything. The
Mm.
only thing that exists is the truth and how that truth drives my life. So, living a fulfilling life and running a thriving business is a direct result of wanting to look and making the commitment to deal with the fact that what I hang on to as the truth
Mm-hmm.
may not be.
Yeah.
What if it was just my opinion? And if even for a moment I could say, you know, I know it's the truth, but just to humor you, Sheila, I'm going to be with the fact that it may just be my opinion. And then standing in that little crack that gets opened up
Mm-hmm.
between the space where I am, it's the truth, and I'm contemplating that it may not be. That opening is what it is to be coachable.
Mm.
It is in that opening that I'm able to consider
Mm-hmm.
another point of view, another approach. It is in that opening that I'm able to be with what is. Like, my business may be tanking, but when I am that my view is the truth, I won't admit that.
Yeah.
I'll be spinning my wheels, working really hard
Mm-hmm.
to be right that it's the truth.
Mm.
When in fact, I'm expending all of my resources, all of my energy being right and not taking any action consistent with living a fulfilling life and running a thriving business. So
Wait, hold
I
on. Let me
wanted to
just say one
establish
thing.
that.
Let me say one thing about that. So everybody listening, including me, I know you don't hear yourself inside of what he's saying, but you might want to be open to what he's saying and try it on like a coat for you and your business. Go ahead, Saurel. This is so great.
And what you said, Sheila, is just perfect. It is trying it on, and by trying it on, it's what I meant earlier when I said just consider for a split second
Yeah.
that whatever it is you're hanging on to that's true for you,
Mm-hmm.
just say for a moment, okay, this is my position and my opinion, and it's not the truth. And if it's not the truth, what is possible in this moment?
Mm.
And in that space, you get to explore, and maybe you're open to actually have that conversation with someone else, someone who's just as committed to you. Maybe that's an accountability partner, or that may be a coach. Because I'm not here to tell anybody that you need a coach.
Yeah.
But as Sheila mentioned earlier, those who want to succeed, those who want to thrive and meet milestones and meet goals in a way that's predictable and reliable, get a coach.
Yeah.
Because they realize that, and I'm not going to call it demon, but it is that kind of a little demon, right?
Absolutely.
I am that it's true. And if I could say, maybe it's not, then I am coachable and I have the space to explore the 7 steps we're talking about. Because guess what? These 7 steps to living a fulfilling life and running a thriving business, they're just like anything else. Something you could learn as a strategy to be successful in life because you're a human being and you're concerned for looking good and doing well.
Yep.
Or there could actually be a space that you create for yourself to practice. And the practice, it's counterintuitive, right? That
Yeah.
by practicing on an ongoing basis, being coachable, that what ends up happening is you live a fulfilling life and you run a thriving business.
Great. Well, look, I'm anxious. I want to hear some of these steps. Let's rock and
Well,
roll here.
let's talk about the first step. The first step is really simple, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is to actually pick an area of your life or your business and tell yourself the truth
Mm.
about that area of your life or your business. Now, when I say pick an area, it turns out the other thing I'm discovering, Sheila, is that any area of my life that's important to me is a microcosm of the holistic nature of what it is to be a human being and to be alive.
Yes.
So to the extent that I can discover what's so in an area of my life and create being coachable in that area of my life and create living a thriving life and a fulfilling life in that area of my life, then whatever it is I discover
Mm-hmm.
is applicable to all the areas of my life.
Perfect.
So the lesson I learned by picking that area of my life is a lesson for my life, not just for that area. So you pick that area of your life and you really tell yourself the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that could be your marriage. You've been lying to yourself about it.
Uh-oh.
It could be your bank account.
Yep.
You're up to your neck or over your head in debt, and you keep spinning your wheels and you're not doing anything about it. So right there, you know, I picked an area very close to me. I haven't seen my mother in over a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I had been struggling with what is it that's keeping me from experiencing my mother's love and her experiencing my love for her, even though she's in Miami and I'm in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And I discovered, I looked and I said, oh, in that area of my life, what I need to do is practice step 2 of this. So, step 2, once I pick that area, step 2 is to write down all the points of views, all the states of mind, all of the feelings and emotions that come up that I relate to as the truth.
Mm.
And one stood out for me. My mother's stubborn.
You,
And, you know, and at first it was benign, right?
right.
And then I looked and I could see from the time when I turned 16, when I said that I know better than my parents, up to now, I have been that, you know, when I tell my parents, because I know better,
Of
when I
course.
when I
16,
tell
of
my
course you
mother,
know better.
when I tell my mother what to do, she doesn't do what I tell her to do. She
Right.
is so stubborn. So, and when I look over what I've written, this is step 3. So now look over what
Yeah.
you've written down as your points of views and answer this question. What is my position in that situation?
Mm.
And when I did that, Sheila, there was a flood of reasons and things that came into my mind to say, you know what? Sugarcoat this.
Mm.
Don't tell yourself the truth. It'll
Mm.
just go away. Shove it under the rug.
Wow.
But in that step 3, so step 1, you pick an area of your life. Step 2, you list all the points of views, all your position about it. And step 3, you really look without sugarcoating anything. Keep it
Mm-hmm.
short, keep it raw, and say it to yourself out loud. And I said to myself, my mom is so stubborn. Like she's only going to do what she wants to do. She's never going to do what I want her to do.
Yeah, my
And
son
then
is
I went to
listening.
step 4.
Mm-hmm.
Step 4 is to take a moment and let what you have discovered sink in.
Mm.
You know, as benign as it sounds that I am, that it's the truth that my mother's stubborn.
Yeah.
What I didn't discover until step 4 is that there is an impact on the relationship between me and
Mm-hmm.
my mother and an impact on my mother. We haven't
Yeah.
seen each other in over a year.
Mm.
And I love my mother, and my mother loves me.
Mm.
Yet, inside of a world where who she is for me is she's stubborn, there was no me feeling her love,
Mm.
and there was no her feeling my love.
Mm.
And it was essential in that step to actually have a conversation with my mother and say to my mother, this is how it's been for me. What has it been like for you? And to sit down and listen to my mother
Mm-hmm.
tell me everything she had to say about that
Mm.
made all the difference in the world. Because guess what? When you get in touch with the impact of the way you are and the truth that you're hanging on to,
Mm-hmm.
it gets real easy to give up that position.
Yes.
And in giving up the position in step 4, you create the space for a fulfilling life. If
Mm.
the position you're hanging on to is about an aspect of your business, you create the space for a thriving business. And in step 5, you get to create what you want. I could say I want to be in a loving relationship with my mother all I want. But until I give up that it's the truth that she's stubborn,
Mm-hmm.
I can't say to her, I love her and have her get it. And I can't
Mm.
say to her, here's the life I want to have with you going forward.
Mm.
Be someone who can play the game of living that life. And the last step, Sheila, is simple. All the steps from 1 to 6, repeat them over and over.
Wow.
Because guess what? I'm a human being.
Mm.
That my mother's stubborn and that's the truth. That's not going away. And if I tell myself the truth, as a human being, I'd rather be right that my mother's stubborn than to have a love in my life.
Mm.
Now, I want you to confront that for yourself, right? In the
Yeah.
areas of your life that are most important to you, in your business that you want to run and have it thrive, there's that position that you're more attached to, that's more important to you than actually living a great life and running a thriving business.
Mm. Awesome. And Saurel, could I add that in having a thriving business, it could also be having a thriving life.
Yeah.
Or
Having a
being
thriving life.
empowered, or if you have a job or whatever you do in life, that you're empowered, that you thrive, that you soar.
That is correct. These 7 steps are for your life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it could be something as simple. You want to be on a regimen where you work out on a daily basis and have the body you want. That takes being coachable.
Amen.
And it doesn't mean drop down and give me 20 when the trainer says that.
Yeah.
It actually means looking to see what is it that's the position you hold about yourself, about exercising, that's keeping you where you are. And once you give that up, gosh, nobody has to tell you to give me 20.
Wow, that's so great. Yeah, and then Saurel, this was beautiful. Tell me, share with us what any other parting words you can give to us this morning, so that people not only have a magical Monday today, but just really a great week, week to week. Coaches and Coffee, we're committed that you come and have a conversation and walk away with a new opening or something new. Go ahead, Saurel.
I want to say this, and it's in the context of what I stand for and what exeQfit stands for.
Okay.
I am that you, wherever you are, wherever you're listening, that you have the capacity to practice being the leader you most respect. And I did say practice, not becoming, practicing. These 7 steps are just one aspect of practicing. And another aspect of practicing is being in action. If I can leave you with one thing, I'll say this. I am fanatical about the next action. And I want you to look for yourself right now. In any area of your life that's important to you, where you have set a goal you want to accomplish, what's always right there is the next action that you know to take. I didn't say the right action.
Great.
I just said the next action.
Yes.
So in taking the next action, there's the possibility of you learning from that action. See, mostly I have been that if I go to a book, if I get coached, if I learn something new, I'll do better. I'm discovering that maybe it's the other way around. So what I do want to leave the listeners with, Sheila, is to be fanatical about the next action in those areas of your life where you're committed to, that are important to you. If you look, you do know what the next possible action is. Take that.
Perfect. On that note, we're going to wrap up Coaches and Coffee for this Monday. Last week, we always have a word for the week. First of all, thank you so much, Saurel. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, Sheila. Thank you.
Oh my God, it was just so rich. And we always have a word for the week. Last week, the word was discipline. And I heard from quite a few people that was empowering in their life. And today, our word for the week is focus. Focus meaning a center of activity, attraction, emphasis, what you're paying particular attention to. So you want to focus on your goals. And as Saurel say, focus on taking the action and be fanatical about it. This is Super Bowl week, and you better believe that Mahomes and Tom Brady are going to be fanatical about the actions they take. And what we want to leave you with is you can too. We'll see you next Monday again. Thank you so much, Saurel. God bless you all.
Thank you, Sheila.